following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's Reaction Monday on Main Street Sports. Today on the program, Zach Womble, the Main Street Preps, covers high school sports in Sumner County. Also joining us, Independence boys basketball coach Mark Wilkins, ahead of their sectional round game tonight. And SEC hoops, both women and men. The women finished their tournament. The men set to begin theirs. Also, MLB talks, well, they're still going somewhat. We'll talk about it and more. It's Reaction Monday. Now to the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here's a Sundrop kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome into Reaction Monday here on Main Street Sports today. Glad to have you guys with us and hope that you are ready to react because we have a lot to talk about. Tons of stuff going on over the weekend. Obviously, SEC basketball tournament finishing up. Men's getting underway later this week. Of course, Major League Baseball is, I guess they're pretending to care for a minute. We'll talk about that. And there's so much to talk about that we will get to in this show and looking forward to it. But we will be heavy on high school hoops today because, well, the fact is that we get to punch some tickets to Murfreesboro tonight. We punched a few on Saturday. 8 times 4, 32 tickets were punched. I guess they said there would be no math, but I'm pretty sure that's right. 32 girls teams have punched their tickets. 32 boys teams tonight will do so as well, and 32 more will end their season and break out the bats or the soccer balls or the tennis balls or whatever else they do in the spring. Or get ready for football. I guess that's possible too. But nonetheless, Mo, what's going on? How are you?
I'm all right. Just like you said, big Monday, I guess. So
it is a big Monday. This is one of those Mondays where you don't mind kind of getting up and getting ready because it's the end of the day is worth dealing with the rest of the day, especially for those 64 teams that are playing basketball tonight for sure. So looking forward to it. We've got several games in our area that will be taking place and across the Main Street Preps footprint. And we'll tell you about all of those games. I assume they're all 7:00 tips. And so that's good. But we've got a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and dive right in, Mo. We'll give folks the weekend results, which I did not go back and get all those baseball scores. I just want everyone to know it. Baseball and softball, I was just letting you know it was available to watch. That's all I'm saying. I didn't go get all those scores, but we will give you the other scores from around sports in the area and tonight's schedule. A lot of hoops. And let's get to it on the rundown.
This is the Rundown. The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
in high school girls sectional action from Saturday night, both of our local entrants saw their seasons come to an end. Loretto goes on the road and falls 36-30 at Westview. Summertown at home falls to Gibson County 56-51. NCAA men's basketball action on Saturday. It was 13th ranked Tennessee with a 78-74 win over 14th ranked Arkansas. Vanderbilt with a 63-61 win at Ole Miss. MTSU drops its second straight game, falling 68-64 at Old Dominion. And in the OVC tournament, it was Morehead State defeating Belmont 53-51 in the semifinals.
NCAA women's action. Middle Tennessee State takes care of Old Dominion 62-44 in the SEC tournament at Bridgestone Arena. Tennessee down to Alabama 74-59, but fell to Kentucky in the semifinals 83-74. Kentucky, the eventual SEC champ. In OVC tournament play, Belmont defeated Austin Peay 63-51 and then turned around and got Tennessee Tech 51-29.
NBA action over the weekend. The Memphis Grizzlies defeated the Orlando Magic 124-96, but lost to Garrison Matthews and the Houston Rockets 123-112. NHL action. Preds all over San Jose. 8-0 the final.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
UC only had 20 saves. We only gave up 20 shots on goal in that game.
Yeah.
It was crazy. In tonight's schedule, high school boys basketball, again, these are 7 o'clock tips. In Class 1A, sectional matchups, Richland is at McKenzie. West Carroll comes to Santa Fe. East Robertson is at Van Buren County. In 2A play, it's Gibson County at Summertown. Pearl Cone goes to York Institute. Fairview travels to Milan, and East Nashville hosts Jackson County.
In Class 3A sectional action tonight, again, these are 7 o'clock local starts. Page travels across the eastern time zone line to Fulton. Portland goes west to Jackson Northside. Jackson Southside comes to Martin Luther King in Nashville. In Class 4A sectional play, Independence will play at Lebanon. Walker Valley comes to Cane Ridge. Ravenwood hosts Once Beaten Beach, and Memphis East will play at Clarksville.
NCAA men's action tonight in the Southern Conference Championship. Furman takes on Chattanooga. You can watch that on ESPN. It's a 6 o'clock tip. And in the Sun Belt, it's Louisiana Lafayette. Louisiana Lafayette, not Louisiana.
All right.
And Georgia State. That's a 6 p.m. tip also, but it's on ESPN2. The Deuce, and that will do it for today's rundown.
Please direct all emails, Louisiana fans, to cyow@mainstreetmediatn.com.
Our poll finished up that we posted last week. I think we posted on the 2nd. So at 8 o'clock, Major League Baseball was officially postponed, and I asked, what are you most likely to watch this spring instead if there's no baseball? The options were college baseball and softball, minor league baseball, NBA, or other /nothing/USFL. Tommy Bryan said USFL. Robert Carter gave us curling, but college baseball and softball, easily the winner, 63.8%. Minor league baseball and NBA both tied at 13%. We got a total of 69 votes. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, JP. Appreciate that.
Long distance bell.
I want to do our top story / opening tip. We don't really have any. Want to kind of save a lot of our topics for the final segment of the day where we get a chance to talk, give our takes like really quickly on a bunch of different topics. But I wanted to mention this because we don't have a lot of time. And Jacksonville, the Dolphins, defeated Jacksonville State, the Gamecocks, in the semifinals of the OVC tournament. Well,
no.
ASUN tournament. Bellarmine upsets Liberty, and Bellarmine is now hosting the ASUN championship against Jacksonville, the Dolphins, on Tuesday night. The problem is that if Bellarmine wins, they are ineligible for the NCAA tournament.
Because they are transitioning from Division II to Division I still.
Correct. They are within their 4-year probationary period.
Mm-hmm.
1, that's a terrible rule. 2, the safeguard in place for the ASUN, instead of the team that makes the championship game
season champ.
Going, the regular season champ, Jacksonville State, the Gamecocks, would advance to the NCAA tournament.
So Jacksonville State sent all of their game tapes, all of their scouting reports, and everything to Bellarmine.
Whatever,
all right?
whatever you got out.
Well, might have sent some players.
Let's go Knights.
Yeah. Most conferences just don't allow you to play in the conference tournament to safeguard against that.
But let's just talk about how bad the rule is. This is a terrible rule. If I'm going from D2 up to D1, why should I? If I can win a conference championship,
I shouldn't be penalized.
Yeah.
If you guys are bad enough for us to win it, then we should be able to go. Yeah, it's not the greatest rule, but I mean, it's there. You don't like the rule, change it. But I mean, again, that said, typically those teams that fall into that purgatory just aren't allowed to participate in the conference, in the tournament rather, which again, it's a bad rule. It's a bad situation, but Jacksonville State's got an opportunity to backdoor into the NCAAs.
Here's the thing. Jacksonville State's either going to the NCAA tournament
or the NIT.
One of the two.
Because there is a rule in place that regular season conference champs that don't win the NCAA bid get AQs to the NIT. So they know they're going somewhere, I guess.
Just don't know which one it's going to be.
Yeah. Feeling the way I do about Ray Harper.
Let's go Knights. Let's go Knights.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. All right, let's get out of here and talk to Zach Womble, because he had a really great game on Saturday when he got to see Westmoreland punch their ticket. He's got a big one tonight. I'm sure he'll be at the beach game. I can't imagine he would be anywhere else, but we'll find out, I guess. We can ask him on the other side of the break. Zach Womble, Main Street Preps, comes on with us here momentarily. We'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in to Main Street Sports Today. Glad to have you with us here on this Reaction Monday as we are reacting to the weekend of sports, but also previewing tonight's high school hoops action, because, again, there's a lot going on, and we want to make sure that you guys are as up to date with the most timely and comprehensive coverage of high school sports in the mid-state, and that is what we do at Main Street Sports. One of the ways we do that, Mo, is we bring in the experts when we are not necessarily as fluent in other areas. And one of those experts is Zach Womble, who joins us now. out of Sumner County and host of the Full Court Press podcast. Zach, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, not much. Just on the road here, driving down to Nashville. So I got you on the phone. Sorry I couldn't join by video today. I hope you boys are doing good.
Hey, you know, video's overrated on a TV show.
Well, as they've always told me, I have the face for radio, so I think it worked out great this time around.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Zach, are you headed to Williamson County tonight? Goodness gracious, could not say that.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to head down to Ravenwood. Of course, you know, tip-off isn't until 7. Going to take care of a little radio business first. But, yeah, heading over to Ravenwood High School to see if the Beach Buccaneers can be the second team from Beach High School to punch their ticket to the Big Dance. As some listeners may know, the Beach Lady Bucks were able to punch their ticket last Saturday when they defeated Hillsboro on the road to secure a state tournament bid for the first time since 2003. So the men's Bucks are going to try to do it. You know, they've been heavily favored all season long to get to that glass house. They, of course, are coming off a tough loss to Lebanon in the region championship. So it's going to be interesting. I know Ravenwood is a very good ball club. These two teams met in December, but, you know, December feels like 20 years ago at this point, doesn't it?
It really does.
So, yeah, that game I think was a 15, 20-point win for Beach, but after some back and forth I saw, I think Ravenwood was actually up by 10 or 15 on Beach in that first game, so about a 35-point turnaround before the final. So, you know, I don't really know what to expect. This Beach team has, you know, I feel like maybe they were playing their best basketball of the season in November and December and maybe early January. And since then, they've kind of just been coasting by. And you know, they obviously met their match last week in the region championship when Jared Hall and the Lebanon Blue Devils handed them their first loss. But this is a very talented team, Beach is, no doubt about it. I mean, 1 through 5 is as good as anyone in the state. But you know what? Like I said, I just don't feel like they're playing their best basketball right now. I think they've already accomplished that. So it's going to be interesting just to see what team or which team shows up tonight.
Meanwhile, Zach, this Ravenwood team, I got a chance to see them a couple of times in the District 12 4A and then the Region 6 4A tournament. And Patrick Whitlock always does a great job, and they are so versatile offensively. I mean, they've got Jake Mulder that can step away and knock down the three. I believe he's a Trevecca, either commit or signee, not sure which, but he's about 6'5", 6'6", and he's a post player, but again, he can step behind the arc. DJ Starr, the senior guard who transferred in from Chicago, I think Tyler Palmatier may have done something on him earlier in the year on Main Street Preps, but they've just got a lot of weapons and they're playing some really good ball right now. I think they've won like 10 of their last 12. And I don't think, you know, this is necessarily where you want to be facing a Beach team coming off of its first loss of the year. But at the same time, I don't think this Ravenwood team is going to back down from that challenge either, especially at home.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, Williamson County has been a thorn in Sumner County side for a long, long time in various sports. And so I think if you're a Sumner County fan, a Sumner County observer, a Beach observer, you kind of have to know that and expect that going in. You know, like I said, whether that be basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, I mean, you name it, Williamson County has kind of had Sumner County's number a little bit. And so I think, you know, if you're a Beach fan, you have to be a little bit worried going on the road. How will they respond? I mean, they haven't lost yet this season, and so you don't know what they're going to look like off of adversity, off of a loss, and how they will respond. You know, so I think this is not going to be an easy game at all for Beach, and I would fully expect Ravenwood to come out and give them their best shot. And you know what? And I don't know Ravenwood's team top to bottom as well as probably you guys do, but as much talk as Eli Rice and Christian Shaw and Tyler Moore get, I think what fans and what teams need to be on the lookout for is Andrew Page. Andrew Page is a football guy who signed with Vanderbilt University during the National Signing Day period. But this is a kid that, I mean, he can go up and get a rebound. He can go up and fly above the rim. And, you know, he's not going to step out beyond 5 feet. That's just not his game. So you don't have to worry about that. But the fact that he can, pretty much out jump anyone in the gym and really throw it down with authority and kind of controls that paint, if you will. I don't know if I'm not sure, and maybe you guys can enlighten me on this. If Ravenwood has anyone of that stature that can kind of prevent that. Not many teams have been able to do that this year. Lebanon was able to do it a little bit with Jared Hall, but Jared Hall is, like Kit Brown said, he thinks he's the second best player in the state behind Brendan Miller, just a junior for Lebanon. And so Jared Hall was able to kind of neutralize that a little bit, just because, when you're a player that's being offered by the University of Kansas, you obviously are doing something right on the basketball floor. I just don't know if Ravenwood has that. So I think, like I said, as much praise as Eli Rice and Christian Moore and Tyler Shaw get, and rightfully so, I really think Andrew Page could be a difference tonight for the Bucs.
He definitely could, Zach, because like you said, Ravenwood doesn't have that kind of physicality and, physical ability in the paint necessarily. What they are going to do is all five guys that they put on the floor can shoot it from behind the arc. So,
yeah,
they may try to offset that strength by running some five out and that kind of thing. And it's just, I've not had a chance to see Beach, heard a lot about him, heard a lot of good things about him. Again, obviously Andrew Page, SEC football sign, he kind of speaks for itself, but I feel like it's going to be two different styles going at it tonight over in East Brentwood. And I think it'll be a pretty entertaining matchup there. Zach Womble with the Sumner County.
It's just there's three papers.
Oh, that's okay. Our man
County.
In Sumner County,
yeah,
with us here on Main Street Sports today. Zach, did you see the Beach Lebanon game?
Yeah, I was at the Beach Lebanon game. It was a fun atmosphere. It was a fun game. You could tell Lebanon is a completely different team without Jared Hall on the floor. You don't just lose what will probably be a top 10 prospect in the state when he's a senior next year. You don't just lose somebody like that and don't drop off a little bit, which, he exited that game in the third quarter with foul trouble, which allowed Beach to kind of grow their biggest lead of the game, which was 7. But I think if Jared Hall never comes out of the game, I don't know if Beach ever claims a lead in that game. I think Lebanon thoroughly dominated, and their 2-3 zone that they run is, it is suffocating. And if you know anything about a zone, it's hard to be suffocating in your face with a zone defense. But my golly, guys, that defense that they ran and run, is potent. And I would honestly look for Ravenwood to maybe do the same thing.
Oh, it's exactly
I don't know
what
if
they're
they're
doing.
zone or how effective they are with their zone defense, but that's potentially a way to negate an Andrew Page, because this team, they can shoot the ball, but like I was saying earlier, as of late, they're really not shooting the ball great. They're not playing great basketball. So maybe Ravenwood kind of takes the page out of that Lebanon playbook and plays a little bit of zone defense on them.
That's exactly what they did to Columbia Central when they beat them here in Columbia. They are well equipped to play a smothering 2-3 zone, and it's kind of a matchup because they're so quick on the outside. They can get to you in the corners and on the wings. It's 100% you're going to see another 2-3 zone tonight, Zach, for sure.
The reason I ask about Lebanon is because Independence obviously goes over there in the flip-flop of Ravenwood Beach, and we're going to have Mark Wilkins on here later in the show. But in addition to Hall, is it Yaron Alexander? Is that the other really good kid for Lebanon? And he manages to keep himself in games for 4 quarters typically.
4A MVP for a reason. Yaron was, and he played really good against Beach, and he does a great job dictating their offense. Kind of, I think he might be an underrated defender. What he was able to do with Tyler Moore, of course, being Beach's point guard. He only scored 5 points against Lebanon, and that was thanks to Yaron's defense. And so, he is going to be another matchup nightmare for whoever has to play Lebanon. Absolutely.
It's going to be a great cross region. There's no question about that. Zach, real quick before we let you go out of here, you were at the Westmoreland game on Saturday, and they punched their ticket to the state tournament. And this is a team that's kind of been on the cusp for the last couple of years and finally getting to the glass house. What was that atmosphere like, and what do you expect from that team once they get to Murfreesboro?
I tell you what, Chris, I made the comment that, that atmosphere was the best that I had been in all season long. And I was privileged enough to see Beach versus Lebanon just a few days prior. But, I don't know if it was because it was in a smaller gym or what, but I'm not kidding you. Anytime a team made a play, whether it was Westmoreland or East Nashville, and the crowd cheered, I could not hear myself think. I mean, the sound just reverberated off the walls, and you could just feel that atmosphere, feel that electricity. It was beautiful just to be in. I mean, I got cold chills down my spine listening to their crowd from both, like I said, from both sides. I mean, you truly love to see when both the East Nashville crowd and the Westmoreland crowd is giving it everything they got. It's just an incredible atmosphere, an incredible game. But as far as what I expect from that Westmoreland team, listen, they're 29-3. And, their 3 games that they lost came in a row. And their last loss coming in on December 3rd at Clarksville Northwest, a team that they played twice this year and split with. They lost to Oakland, who was also a state tournament qualifier, and Loretto, who fell just short in their sectional game this past Saturday. So, they're going to face Alcoa in the first round. And to be quite honest with you, I expect Westmoreland to win that game and move on to the state Final Four. Now, they're going to get a tough matchup in round 2, assuming that they move on and assuming that Westview moves on as well. Westview, I think, is 29-2. If I'm not mistaken, but they're just a really good team that can guard. They've got playmakers on at every position, whether that be Elena Eckel, whether that be Emma Wright, whether that be Anna Creasy. You could go down the list of players that can make a play for you and for them. And so this is a team that guards and defends as well as anyone that I've seen all season long. They pass the basketball so well. And just when you've got a girl on your team like Elena Eckel, who is going to end up at the Division II Anderson University, you've got a chance any given night. So, they're a team that I expect to really make some noise and potentially cut down the nets for the first time.
I'll tell you, Westview is tough to beat, but if you can shoot them out of that zone.
Definitely.
If you can shoot them out of that zone, you got a chance. And so I'll be interested to see how Westmoreland fares against Alcoa. Actually, I was talking to my buddy over at SmokyMountainSports.com this weekend. He said, hey, Alcoa is not bad. I said, well, we'll find out how good they are because Westmoreland hasn't lost since like Thanksgiving. So, but Zach, we appreciate your time as always, man. Are you on the Zach Attack today?
I am on the Zach Attack today. That's exactly right. That's where I'm headed right now. I left the house a little bit early because that Nashville traffic through the city is god awful, as you know. But it worked out perfectly because Ravenwood High School is all about 20 minutes from the studio, so I couldn't have asked for a better commute, honestly.
Well, good for you. If you want to listen to Zach and Zach today, you can listen to him on WNSR. Be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Zach Womble, host of Full Court Press at FCP_MSP and at Zach Womble MSP. That's Zach with a H, Mo, not a K. So, Zach, we appreciate it as always, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. All right, when we come back, we've got more hoops to talk about, high school and college level, so we'll get to it right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones and Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Join Main Street Prep's editor Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier as they bring you Main Street Preps This Week every Wednesday at 1 p.m. It drops wherever you get your podcast and right here across all of our Main Street Media social platforms. Tune in Wednesdays. It is Main Street Preps This Week with Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier. Now back to Mo and Chris as we get to college hoops discussion on Main Street Sports today. Gentlemen.
Welcome back in as Mo grabs his cell phone from the floor that we knocked off after that last segment.
Gets exciting around here.
It does. It does. So real quick, I wanted to mention in the high school level, you were at Summertown on Saturday night. I was watching both Summertown and Loretto. I had Summertown on the TV, Loretto on the TV, Summertown on my phone, like sitting next to me. I'm trying to keep up with both games. And at one point, I think it was like a 7-point game. Loretto was down in the fourth quarter, and then Summertown was down by about 10 in the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, well, too bad, so sad. And then I checked back in, and both of them were down 2 with a minute to go.
Well, there you go. That's what you get for giving up on them. Yeah.
Well, I should have stopped watching because then I kept watching and ended up losing. It was my fault.
It's all your fault. Summertown got it down to 2, but they just never could get the stop that they needed. They never could get the big shot that they needed. And, you kind of got to credit Gibson County for that, where we're going to talk to Mark Wilkins here later. His dad, Mitch Wilkins, is the Gibson County girls coach, and Mark was
had
actually
some great things to say about Summertown and their sportsmanship. After the game, had mentioned sent Lane Henson, principal over at Summertown, a message, and just wanted to talk about how great he thought the atmosphere was, and how everyone was very, generous and sportsmanlike during that game. So pretty great to hear that kind of thing from an opposing coach, especially when you lose.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, no less than you would have expected, really. And, Summertown has been in so many of those situations, and certainly Gibson County and Mitch Wilkins have been in so many of those situations. But, for them to come in here into a hostile environment and win a game like they did, never trailed. Big win for Gibson County, and kind of makes you feel like, or just kind of reinforces the idea that they could do some damage this week over at MTSU as well. So I think Class 2A is going to be something to keep an eye on. But the fact that both the reigning 1A state champion and the 1A state runner-up from last year are both sitting at home as they moved up, just kind of tells you how strong a section, I guess, that was between those 4 teams, because 3 of those 4 were in 1A last year. Gibson County moved up as well.
To me, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like Decatur County Riverside drew the long straw in that one. So that's all I'm going to say. But it's interesting. Have you ever been to Martin Westview?
I have not.
Have you ever seen their gym?
I have not.
It is a horseshoe. Okay, so they have they have a corner where the students sit, and then it goes all the way around, and they baseline seating on one end, a tunnel on the other. It's an incredible gymnasium. I wish that I could have been there for that, because it
Oh, you could have.
just on television. Have you driven to Martin? I was not.
I have driven to Martin. I've
No,
not been to
thank you.
Westview, but I have driven to Martin.
No,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, well,
So, but I mean, it looked phenomenal on television. Loretto struggled to get Westview out of that zone. They stayed in it the whole night. At first, when I first saw Summertown 1, I thought, oh, this might actually work out for both teams, because Loretto, Westview, number 1, number 2, Loretto probably has a better chance of winning. I actually think Summertown would have had a better shot against Westview because of how well they shoot from outside. Loretto just couldn't ever get them out of that zone, and tied the game 23 all in the third quarter behind 5 straight points from Carly Weathers. And then they come down
5 of her 10.
5. Listen, when I tell you that they did everything they could to keep penetration from happening, I mean, Westview did everything that they had to do. They did not allow anyone inside the paint, period. And Carly had a shot from the corner to go up to take the lead first time in the game, and they couldn't do it. Just didn't fall.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything, just the way it went, and 2 great teams. It was a 2-point game, just like yours was a 2-point game before a couple free throws at the end kind of spread it out. But I mean, it was a 2-point game with under a minute to go on both sides. So you could not have asked for 2 better sectional games.
No, I mean, and as disappointing as the outcome was for Summertown and for Jeremy Jean, like you said, I don't think you could ask for any more. Again, it was 51-49 with about a minute and a half left, and it was 54-51 inside the final 30 seconds. I mean, so, they had their shots.
Had opportunities.
And that's all you can ask for in that situation. So.
No question. On the NCAA side, moving on, Tennessee, speaking of holding teams off, just dominated. They were up by 23 points at one time, and Arkansas just comes back, and Tennessee couldn't make a shot. But Zakai Ziegler, who did not have a great game overall, comes through in the clutch, makes his free throws, and sends John Fulkerson out 2-0 on senior day.
Yeah. You're not always going to have a great game, but
you're right.
For sometimes the most important shot is the next one. And Zakai Ziegler has that cornerback mentality, short memory. It's going up. And guys like that believe everyone is going in, and that's huge. And we talked to Bob Kessling on Friday, and he talked about how the Tennessee fan base, when you put a good product on the floor, on the field, is going to support it. And the atmosphere that there has been at Thompson Bowling Arena this year has been incredible to watch on TV. And I did not get to see this game, but I can only imagine how electric that crowd was, especially with an Arkansas team coming in that UT had lost to in Fayetteville. And there was probably a little grudge match among the fans, because Bud Walton is a great atmosphere too. And I'm sure that they wanted to show, hey, we can put on for our folks as well. And UT, in getting up 23 in that ball game, certainly gave them something to cheer for. So, but they won't be playing anymore at TBA. So
gotta win in
they got to win. They got at to be announced. Yeah,
no,
wherever
TPA.
it is. Oh, TPA. Oh,
Tampa.
You keep reminding me of that. And they won't have to win many down there because they're going to be the number 2 seed, so they're going to get the double bye. But still, man, one of those 4 top seeds is going to get knocked off.
Oh, yeah.
And just as crazy as this conference has been all year.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. And much like in the women's tournament where, Tennessee falls to Kentucky and Kentucky just rolled through that tournament.
Here's the thing about Kentucky. I did not realize that they were 19-11 after beating South Carolina yesterday, but I think this Kentucky team underachieved over the course of the season. And I think what you saw this past week at Bridgestone was more of what they were supposed to be all year long.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That this was the Kentucky team. What we saw at Bridgestone was the Kentucky team we expected to see all year. We didn't get it all year long.
And so they come in here as a 7 and they start breaking folks' hearts.
I mean, when you have a player the caliber of Ryan Howard,
she's so good.
She is incredible. She gives you a chance no matter what, every time you go out on the basketball court. And she took over that team and this tournament, and she showed why she was such a highly regarded recruit despite not getting an offer from University of Tennessee. Anyway.
Inexplicable. Inexcusable.
It really is.
But
that's the kind of thing that gets you fired.
Can, will, and did, I believe.
Zero question. That was on the list of reasons.
And it wasn't very far down, I don't believe. Yeah. But yeah, kudos to her. I mean, great article on The Athletic by Kyle Tucker. And, she said she'd never won a championship in anything, which is kind of hard to believe. But she certainly made up for it this week.
No doubt. SEC basketball tournament starts this week, and we will talk plenty about it on this show. Looking forward to it. Right now, we're going to take a halftime break, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to get into some non-sports stuff. And there's one other sports thing we do need to mention before we get into it. So y'all come around on the other side of halftime, and we'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports Today, and it's halftime. But I do want to talk real quick. Just want to mention this. According to the sports director at WBIR,
It's in Knoxville.
Karthik Venkataraman.
Yeah.
Tennessee will not play its orange and white game at Neyland Stadium this year due to construction and scheduling conflicts with other venues. The scrimmage will take place at Anderson Training Center on April 9th and will be closed to the general public and no live digital stream of the event.
Ooh. That's going to make some folks not happy.
You can, however, go to Volunteer Village at Humanitarians Plaza, where two big screens will carry the scrimmage on, I guess, like local access network. So interesting, to say the least.
Hey,
What I was wanting to talk about, I don't watch a lot of Netflix these days, but I did see a mini series called Inventing Anna, and Inventing Anna is about a mid-20s girl who basically pretends to be a German heiress and swindles all these banks and all these people out of like buku of money. It's a true story. And the reason I wanted to watch it is because the movie is based off of an article in New York Magazine where a journalist basically went into a deep dive of this woman's life and figured out how she did all of these things. And it was just really interesting to watch it kind of play out how, from our perspective, from someone who's in the journalism industry, it just was really interesting to watch how she went from topic to topic, from person to person, and figured it all out. So if you've not watched Inventing Anna, the tagline is, "This story is completely true except for all the parts that are made up."
It's a fantastic show. Yes,
It really is.
Yeah, it is.
And JP, if you saw the end where they show the picture of the real person versus who they casted it so well.
Well, she's a great actor too. Of course, from Ozark.
Well, not just her, but Casey was almost identical. Neff was almost identical. It was just like they picked the perfect cast for that entire miniseries.
Yeah, it's really good.
What you got? We got a timeout here.
Yeah, a timeout during halftime.
Is there such a thing?
At Adam Schefter with the blue check.
Are you sure?
With the blue check. NFL suspended Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley for the 2022 season for betting on games. 13 minutes ago.
Okay.
Now, if he was betting on games while he was away from the team, I don't know, but I'm sure there will be more on this. But like I said, 13 minutes ago, Schefter tweeted this.
Yeah, Stephen Holder's got it too.
So
at The Athletic.
So,
all righty then. Well, let's talk about
Falcons going Falcon, huh?
Let's talk about that on the other side of the break. We got some MLB as well to talk about before we talk with Mark Wilkins and get into our potpourri of takes. So come back with us. Main Street Sports Today returns after this.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll be joined by Independence basketball coach Mark Wilkins ahead of their sectional round game tonight. Plus, our reaction to some of the hottest topics over the weekend and a little MLB conversation. We'll see where that's going. Now, back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Well, you want to react to some stuff? We got plenty to react to here. Calvin Ridley apparently suspended for an entire season for betting on NFL games while he was not with the team and had no impact on said games.
Michael Felder in the bleachers. going to need Ridley in his year off to just become a spokesman for a casino, fantasy, and daily fantasy to recoup that year's salary he's losing. I understand my mistake and will never bet on NFL games again when I'm in the NFL. But right now, when I'm not in the NFL, you should bet with fill in the blank.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
I mean, the NFL is in bed with Bet MGM and everybody else. I mean, how self-righteous can you be over this situation? Again, he was not with the team. He took a leave of absence from the team to deal with some mental health issues, which maybe betting was one of those.
I was about to say this probably.
You know, I don't want to make light of whatever Calvin Ridley had going on, but this certainly doesn't help the situation in all seriousness. At the same time, he wasn't with the team. It's not like he was out there dropping balls to make sure that the Falcons didn't cover.
Yeah, this isn't a point shaving deal. This isn't, longest yard Paul Crew.
No, I don't think anybody's going to jail over this one. Let's hope.
And this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me if you're the NFL. But hey, I mean, I'm sure it's against the rules. I'm sure that there's no betting policy.
It just seems like to me, for all of the things that the NFL could take a hard line on, this is where we're going to go.
Despite every single game having 37 advertisements for betting.
Mm-hmm. I'm so tired of Jesse. What's her face?
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're the NFL. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense if
But to be fair, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're Calvin Ridley either.
That's right. I mean, you should probably know that it's against the rules. But again, if you take a leave of absence, maybe he thought under this leave of absence, I'm not under contract. I mean, I assume he's going to appeal this at some point.
And even though he wasn't with the team, it will be interesting to see how this develops. I mean, was he betting on the Falcons? Was he betting against the Falcons? Did he have some insider information on who was and wasn't going to be available for the Falcons? And there's a lot to unpeel here, I think.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait for more information to come out, and we'll continue to try to stay on top of it and give you our opinion with every new fact that comes out, because that's what we do here on sports talk shows, right? Our friend Heather Williams, WCYB TV up in Bristol, reporting that Matt Reimer, hired in January at Tennessee High School, has resigned.
Hired in?
You heard me. January of this year.
Okay.
This is the guy who was at college, right? He was at a college.
Yeah,
because we talked with when we talked to Donovan about this. He had been the offensive coordinator at University of Cumberland's
up in Kentucky,
and was named the head coach he was the head coach of University of Cumberland's. So there you go.
Oh, goodness.
And has now resigned.
I am thankful for the opportunity that was offered to me here at Tennessee High School as a head football coach. This is a special place and the future is bright. Students at Tennessee High have made a tremendous impact on me in a short time. I am stepping down as a head football coach simply because I feel like a relocation for my family is not best at this point in time.
Shouldn't you have figured that out before you took the job?
I don't know. I can tell you this. Nick took an on-campus visit to the University of the Cumberlands his junior year, considering going up there to wrestle. It's not a whole lot there. So, I mean, from there to Bristol, maybe
too much?
Maybe too much. I don't know. I don't know. That's odd that you would prefer to be there or someplace else to Bristol. I'm certainly disappointed about Coach Reimer's decision, said Barry Wade, Tennessee High School athletic director. We enjoyed the time we worked with him and appreciated his vision for our program. As unexpected as this is, we will move forward with the same commitment to find a new coach with the same passion for our student athletes, our football program, and our community.
Man, that's something right there.
That is on March 7th.
Anyway, again, we are reacting to brand new. I mean, these are two things that literally just happened.
Just came on our radar.
So, we used to talk about, man, news never breaks during our show. We were on 9 to 11, and now
maybe we were just in the wrong time slot.
We were clearly in the wrong time slot. But I guess real quick before we get to Mark Wilkins, I do want to mention that the MLBPA said that they would agree to banning the shift, the addition of pitch clocks, and a slightly larger base.
Slightly larger base?
Yeah, the bases would get a little bigger as if they are part of a larger CBA agreement.
So the owners want all of that?
The owners want all of that.
What is the larger base? Is
It's
that a
like
player safety thing, or what is the rationale behind a larger base?
I don't know. I assume it has something to do with maybe base stealing, but I don't know.
I don't understand that, but okay.
Could be a player safety issue. I've always thought that they should go to the double bases at first base anyway, to avoid Max Fried, Tim Hudson issues. But anyway, All right, let's take a break. We've got a lot of things we can talk about in segment 6. So I hope JP is writing down all of the topics that we did not get a chance to talk about, and he will give us our 30-second takes on the topics in segment 6. But before that, Mark Wilkins, Independence basketball coach, got a big one tonight against Lebanon up in Wilson County. So we'll talk to him, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So stick with us here on Main Street Sports Today. We'll be back after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today. Man,
We're sitting here looking at the bigger bases.
And boy, are they bigger.
They're
the size of the old Astrodome dirt patches.
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite how big they're going to be, but I would love that. That'd be hilarious.
The bigger bases in the minors, when they tested this, were 18 inches square instead of 15. So
oh, wow. It's pretty big.
That's 3
It's 9 extra inches, right? No,
it's
12.
12 extra
12
inches.
extra inches. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Certainly interesting.
Get more stolen base attempts and perhaps more safe calls at first, supposedly.
More safe calls at first. That's
some pitchers not going to really like that, I don't think. But
one of the things is I find interesting about this is the players are not budging on the robot ump thing, on the umpires having. So it's unions got to stick together, I guess. Anyway, we'll talk more about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not going away.
It's not going away. So let's do this first. Let's get back into high school hoops because again tonight, big game up in Wilson County. Independence traveling to Lebanon, and boy, what a game it's going to be. I have a feeling. Looking forward to keeping up with it through Tommy Bryan. I'm sure you can hear the golden tones of Tommy Bryan on the call for Lebanon, and you can probably hear it on Dash 2 Sports as well with with Brad DeShiel. But joining us now is Independence boys basketball coach Mark Wilkins. Coach, welcome in. Thanks for taking some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me. It's definitely exciting to still be talking basketball here on March 7th. So glad to do it.
Mark, this is your first season at Independence, coming in from South Gibson, where you had some success over there. I don't know what your expectations were stepping into this program, but Independence went 10-11 last year. To be sitting here 4 hours from tip-off for a game that could send you to the state tournament, what you expected, more than you expected, less than you expected? Where does this fall?
Yeah, that's honestly a difficult question to ask, Mo. I think it's complicated depending on what day you ask me. Summer games this summer, I would have thought, man, we were lucky to win, 10 games. And, sometimes we, play Cane Ridge early in the year to 5 points. You think, well, goodness, we might just do it all. So, that's just the ups and downs of high school sports and teenagers and, coaching and figuring out this new year. And so, I'll be honest, I think that we kind of talked about early on that if we start doing the things right and get the things in the right direction, we could go to the state tournament. But it wasn't like every single day we woke up knowing that was what was going to happen either. We had some, some bad losses along the way, or some losses we thought we should have won, I guess I should say, and, some setbacks and injuries and sickness and different things that I guess every team will go through over the course of 4 months. And so I think that was always the goal and maybe the vision and the hope, from day one with our guys. And thankfully they delivered. And we're, like I said, 4 hours or however many hours away from playing this game, and 6 hours maybe away from that dream becoming actuality.
Mark Wilkins, coach of the Independence Eagles, 25-8 coming into sectional play tonight. 7 of those 8 wins were by seven of those 8 losses were by less than 10 points. The one exception, and Mark, please don't choke me, in the opening round of the King of the Hill Holiday Classic at Summit, a 70-52 loss to Lebanon.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting, though. I hadn't thought about it like that. That only double-digit loss to them. That's very interesting. And look, it's no secret. They were without their 2 best players, and we were without ours. And one of our, Matthew Witt was out, Jared and Yarn was out for them. And so, having said that, I don't know what you do with that game. I mean, it's important, and it's something that we obviously know and remember now. But it seems like almost 2 years ago when that game happened. But it's definitely, we've kind of been keeping up with them as the years going on, and lo and behold, here we are playing them for a chance to the state tournament. They're a great team. I know we're going to get into that, but they have a lot of talent and they're playing great, and so it's going to be a tall task for us for sure. One that we're up for.
You're the second person we've talked to today that says December feels like it was 20 years ago, and it really does. Once you turn the page into the new year and you start playing on a Tuesday, Friday, or whatever it is basis, it just goes quick. But you got to be pleased with what y'all have been able to do. I mean, again, since that loss only 4 other losses. 2 of those were back-to-back to Columbia in the regular season finale, and 2 Ravenwood in the semifinals of the district tournament. But really, obviously, been playing some really good ball. And as much attention as Jet Montgomery gets for you guys, to me, Mark, watching y'all, Cameron Bell and Matthew Witt are really kind of unsung heroes for y'all.
No, they're special. You know, I feel like I've had a couple, you've done a couple times, Mo, where you come up to after the game and say, how does it feel to have 4 players in double figures? And I'll be the first one to tell you, I have no idea. I have no idea how many points we're scoring in a game per player. I know the fans love that. Reporters got to keep up with it. But every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, it's great. You know, I think that's the best case scenario. We're just trying to think next play and what we have to do. And but, you know, those guys several times this year especially have been those guys around 10 to 12 points, along with about 10 to 12 rebounds. You know, and when we're getting double production of those two, I mean, it just takes us up another whole level. And, you know, they're complementary players. Cameron's a little bit more finesse and has a great touch, and Matthew's a little more power and wants to dunk it every time he catches the ball. And so they're a lot of fun to coach. And so literally, we're in a timeout. I get to look up at them. I love looking up at players. And so they're great kids, and we're excited that they're going to be in this game tonight.
Coach, you know, that's one of the things that I think a lot of folks who maybe have just kind of kept up with independence in the papers, right? You know, you don't really get a full grasp of how well-rounded this team is. You've got guys like Owen Reese who can hit it from anywhere at any time. You've got, you know, again, we talked about Cameron Bell so many times who just gives you that extra length as well. But one of the things that I think is the hallmark of this team is the ability to create transitions and create transition points, creating turnovers on the defensive end and getting to the other side. You know, how do you do that against a team like Lebanon, who has some of the best, you know, two of the best players in the mid-state tonight?
Yeah, I think that's maybe that and scoring in the paint. Transition points and scoring in the paint might be the two big stats tonight to determine who wins. You know, I think we play complementary styles in the sense of very similar. Love to both get out and go. You know, and so we're going to have to do a great job, first of all, just defending that. You know, really take care of the ball, getting great shots so we can get back in transition when they do get the rebound. And then the opposite's true. You know, against Columbia in the region tournament, we were able to get a lot of deflections. And, you know, that's the best way for us probably to score is when we're out and running and there's a lot of freedom. We have great basketball players. And when it comes down to me having to draw up a play every time, I think it kind of bogs us down too much. And I'm not that smart to do that. So it's exciting just to let our guys get out and go and play fast. That's for, you know, something that we want to do, but you know, it's something that they do well. And so as a fan, you're probably excited. As a coach, I'm nervous as to be, you know, because you don't know how the pendulum's going to swing your way or how, you know, however, but it's exciting. And I think that's something tonight that, you know, it'll be an up and down game, I'm sure. And, you know, a lot of possessions. And I think that favors both teams to see who, you know, kind of comes out on top.
Speaking with Mark Wilkins, the Independence boys basketball coach here on Main Street Sports today, as the Eagles get ready to travel to Lebanon for 7 o'clock Class 4A sectional matchup. The winner goes to MTSU's Murphy Center for state quarterfinal action beginning next week. And specifically, the winner of this ball game will play the winner of Clarksville and Memphis East in the final game on Wednesday, March 6th. That would be March 16th. That game would be at 6 o'clock. Obviously, Mark, I know you're not looking that far ahead, but you will be in Murfreesboro this week, I can almost guarantee.
Yeah, that's something that thankfully has become a little bit of a family tradition here recently, especially with my dad. He's had a ton of success. He actually was over at Independence today doing a walkthrough with his girls, and it was really fun and exciting for me to get to watch that and see just a master at work in a lot of ways. And he's got a team there again, and they play tomorrow 11:30. And then my middle brother has two teams possibly. His boys play tonight, but his girls already participated in the state tournament at McKenzie. And so then I have an older brother who was there just a few years ago. And so I guess I'm the Lone Ranger a little bit. Hadn't been there yet, but, you know, very excited for our family. And just a lot of fun. Feel super blessed. We know that we may not all be doing this we definitely won't be for 20, 30 years, but these years that we're overlapping is a lot of fun, and would love to be there with them next week, with my brother especially. But this is the best time of the year if you like high school sports. There's 2 good weeks here of great action, and with the 4th class, I think adds another element to it too. So there should be plenty of games these next 2 weeks.
No doubt. Mitch Wilkins, Mark's dad, again, the coach of the Gibson County girls who defeated Summertown in sectional play on Saturday night and made their way to Murphys. Did they just stay up here, Mark, or did they go back and then come back up, or how did that work? You said that he had a walkthrough today.
Yeah, they went home. Quick turnaround. They went home, packed their bags, and I think they, stayed Sunday night or whatever, and got up today and came on this way. And when you're a program like that, it's kind of like if we punch our ticket tonight, I promise you there's gonna be some celebrating. And there was excitement for Gibson County girls, but it's become such a powerhouse that they were like, all right, I guess we'll just start packing our bags and we'll see in Murfreesboro. It's a little bit more casual for them. Don't get me wrong, it's still exciting, but quick turnaround for the girls, especially playing on a Tuesday this year instead of a Wednesday. But they did go home, and I know they're eager and ready to play tomorrow on Murphy Center floor.
Coach, when you look back on this season and you see the growth that your team has kind of achieved, early in this year, you still had a lot of kids who were, quote, underclassmen, even though many of them have played the last couple of years. What does this team, the difference between what you've seen in the beginning of the year, maybe in that tournament where you lost to Lebanon, versus now after playing a rigorous district and region schedule?
I think experience. I think you're kind of alluding at it at the beginning there, that this team has grown in a lot of experience. We had a very talented team, I thought, even from the very onset, but just lacked a lot of crucial late game experience. I'll give you an example. We're playing Cane Ridge again, and senior point guard Tyus Anderson, who's so much the heart and soul of this team, fouls out with a minute to go in the 4th quarter. 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. And that game was so tight, and he doesn't foul out. Who knows? And so, just different situations and experience. I think more than anything else, you can't replicate. You just kind of got to live through. And we have 3 great seniors, but outside of that, we have a lot of inexperience. Even Owen Reese didn't start last year. He came off the bench some, and so I felt like we just really had talent, but didn't really know what to do with it yet. It's taken, I guess, however many games we've played to really get in a situation where we found an identity and how we want to play and how we're going to rebound and how we can attack. And, part of that's the transition of a new coach too. I have a lot of ideas, as any new coach might. And, but sometimes you start figuring out what fits this team and this program. And I think we're on our way to finding that, and hopefully for years to come.
It seems all of a sudden you've got an honorary member of the Doctors of Dunk on your roster, Mark. Guy who had not had a dunk in his career, dunks for his 1,000th point, and then liked it so much he got another one in the region championship. Are you having to kind of calm Jet down a little bit at this point, or what's the situation as far as that goes, him playing above the rim?
Yeah. We're not running alley-oop plays for him yet. We may wait on that till next year, but we're definitely not telling him not to do it, because he's proven in a game in a high moment that he can do it. So we're excited. With Jed, he's such a special kid and great player that he doesn't need much of me. We just kind of let, Jet do his thing, and he's just a great player. He's become so much smarter this year, I think, on shot selection and time and situations. But he's a special kid, and I can't imagine dunking for the first time ever as a sophomore and getting my 1,000th point. I can't really understand what's more impressive, as a sophomore or as a dunk. And it's just all just an amazing story. And he's a great kid, and I hope for many more points as we move forward for years to come with him.
Coach Mark Wilkins here of Independence, getting ready for his sectional game tonight at Lebanon. Again, that's a 7:00 tip, and you can hear it at the Dash 2 Sports Network. You can hear it probably – I don't know if you can see it on Facebook. Tommy has – I'm just not exactly sure where it's at, but it is available, or you can just, make your way up to Wilson County if you've got nothing better to do. Coach?
Campbell Brandon Gymnasium, named for their former Lady Blue Devils Hall of Fame coach. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, we appreciate you taking some time today. I know you got a lot to get to, so we'll let you go, but thanks again.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for your coverage. Sure makes high school sports fun. We appreciate all you do.
We appreciate it. All right. When we come back, we'll give you a potpourri of projects. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get into all of the different topics. So
the broadcast will be available on YouTube.
okay.
So
There you go. It is available on YouTube. So look it up. Lebanon Blue Devils basketball.
or you can go to facebook.com/LHS Blue Devil singular news plural. So
Blue Devil News.
Yep.
I see it. All right. We'll be right back with all the topics that we didn't get to on Main Street Sports today. Y'all stick around. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Man said only bet 1,500. I ain't got no gambling problem. Killing me.
It's definitely the biggest thing on social media right now.
It's
rightfully
wild.
So. Yeah.
He
and
placed,
wacky.
He placed parlay bets on NFL games using his cell phone. Thanks, Andrew Siciliano. We didn't. Who is getting on their desktop to bet?
Who's going to a book to bet?
Yeah.
At this point,
I mean, you don't have to.
Maybe some people like being nostalgic. I don't know.
I like our boy Matt Brown's tweet. Matt Brown said, he said, how does Calvin Ridley's suspension impact your fantasy team? Presented by DraftKings. But first, a word from Coinbase.
Yep.
Yeah, the jokes ain't gonna stop no time soon, unfortunately.
No, and they're all going to be pointed at the people that it should be pointed at, and that is the league.
Yeah. I don't think anybody is really faulting Calvin Ridley in this situation.
Well, other than Tom Abraham.
Well, there's always one.
I say that, but he just said, well, it is in the rules. He just said, you might not have a gambling problem, but you do have a read the rules problem.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. But I guarantee you it'll be in the next CBA.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, that's ridiculous. But anyway, let's throw it over to JP and see if he see what kind of topics he's going to throw at us. I hope there's at least I hope there's one topic that is at least in here. We'll see if we get to it. But JP,
I'll leave you time to touch on that if I don't hit what you're looking at. But a couple of things I want to get your quick thoughts on. Some you may have touched on a little bit, but we'll start in high school. Bigger surprise: Summertown loss or Loretto loss? Girls basketball.
To me, I think the Summertown lost just because they were at home.
yeah, I'm with you there. And the only reason I said it because Westview at home, number 2 in the state, haven't lost to a team in the state of Tennessee all year. It was an unfortunate way that it ended up being Loretto on the road and Summertown at home. I think it's the bigger surprise is Loretto, but mainly because Summertown was at home.
Okay, all right.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Scratch that, reverse it.
Yeah, scratch reverse.
Yeah.
All right. It is March, so that means bracketology. We had Jerry Palm, CBS bracketologist, on a few days ago. The current top 4 seeds: Jerry Palm has Gonzaga, Auburn, Arizona, Baylor. Lenardi of ESPN has Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, Baylor. Which team will be a 1 seed, Auburn or Kansas?
Well, it should be Auburn, but it probably will be Kansas.
Here's the thing, though. You're telling me you're going to have 2 number 1s out of the Big 12?
No. 0 chance.
Yeah, I feel like it's Auburn.
I mean, Auburn beat the one common opponent that they have. Auburn beat, and the common opponent beat Kansas. That's Kentucky. And not just beat Kansas.
Oh, at Kansas, right?
Beat their eyeballs in on the road. So,
and I was leaning towards a potential sub question on that. Who should be a 1 seed, Auburn or Kentucky? Now, it may determine on who wins the SEC.
Yeah.
But right now, Lenardi has
Kentucky's a 4 seed in the SEC.
Well,
I think a lot of that depends on how this week in Tampa goes. But I would be inclined to think Auburn, just because I think Auburn has done it over the, from November 1st or whenever the season started to right now. I think Kentucky has had some moments like that day in Kansas where they look like, heck, maybe they should be the overall number 1. But I just think Auburn over the course of the schedule has proven to be more deserving than Kentucky of a number 1.
Interestingly enough, to put a bow on this particular topic, Lenardi has both Auburn and Kansas winning their tournaments and still has Kansas over Auburn. So he has Auburn winning the SEC tournament and not getting a 1 seed. Interesting.
Well, Joe Lenardi's an idiot.
There's no way that will happen.
I find that hard to believe, too. We'll stick in college basketball. Saturday night in Durham, North Carolina was the final regular season home game for the legendary coach Mike Krzyzewski. North Carolina played a little spoiler in that one. 94-81 was the final. Now, I don't know if you guys saw what the price of a ticket for that game was going for heading into Saturday night. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, boatload. People were mortgaging
over
their houses.
$5,000, $5,000. Some interesting celebs. I caught just a few minutes, and of course, I think I saw Jerry Seinfeld was there.
Apparently, Jerry Seinfeld was there. Yeah,
the NBA commissioner was there. There were a ton of folks there in that small arena. But thoughts? How about that? How about North Carolina spoiling Coach K's final regular season home game, his curtain call?
The rivalry between those two, it's really fitting that it did go that way.
That is a true rivalry, right?
So much so that when they played at North Carolina earlier this year, North Carolina did nothing to honor Coach K. And there were a lot of people at Duke who were upset about that. But I do want to mention this.
Well, they honored him, just not in a flattering way.
Well, see, Duke won at North Carolina. So
Yeah,
Duke got the win on the road, but then at home in his final home game, there's nothing better.
Well, I mean, I wonder what Duke did for Dean Smith.
Well, see, back in those days, I don't think
You necessarily did.
You did well. Nobody announced that they were retiring before they retired. Back then, you know what I mean.
They didn't,
So
they didn't have a whole season, so they could go around and do a swan song.
yeah, the farewell tour or whatever. But I will mention this:
Mhm.
only twice in Coach K's career has an unranked North Carolina team beat a ranked Duke team. Both times, Hubert Davis was a player, and then Hubert Davis was the coach.
There you go.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I thought North Carolina doing what they did, getting that win, was just awesome. And that was the topic that, of course, I wanted.
Was that it?
That was the topic.
Oh, well, good.
I mean, watching Coach K have to leave Cameron Indoor with a loss was, yeah. And I don't know, JP. You may know this, but did you see the tweet from Larry something that said that apparently Vanderbilt refused to hire Coach K in 1979? Coach K had applied for the job at Vanderbilt, and they did not hire him.
Who's putting this out now?
Yes, Larry something. Was
he a Tennessee fan? What is this?
No. He was in the department.
Larry Leathers?
Yes, Larry Leathers. Go look at
How is it just now coming out?
Go look at his tweet.
How is this now just coming out?
And
why?
Yeah.
So on Saturday at 5:48, to be exact, at LL Leathers. Is this a reasonable time to remind Vandy fans that we refused to hire Coach Chris Krzyzewski as our head coach in 1979?
Ain't that something?
Thank you, Larry.
I hate that I'm just now seeing this.
So someone in there was like, nope, that's my wife reminds me every single time that Vanderbilt loses. Could have had Coach K.
Could have had Coach K. Thank you.
Well, so Vanderbilt could have had Coach K and Bill Parcells.
I mean, man,
they had Parcells for a while. Yeah.
Well, as an assistant. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Do you got anything else, JP?
Too soon for stuff like that. No. No. Happy Monday, gentlemen.
Happy Monday it has been. Hope you guys we'll talk later this week about the MLBPA and the size of bases and all of that.
We need to mention before we get off of here, because time is running short, but Chris and I will again be burning the midnight oil, or at least I will.
We'll be there.
Boys sectionals tonight. Chris will be down at Summertown as the Eagles take on Gibson County. Looking for a little revenge for the girls, I guess.
That's exactly what they're doing.
And I will be at Santa Fe for their historic first sectional period. The Wildcats will be taking on West Carroll. Both those are 7:00 starts. Come see us. They should be a lot of fun. I think it'll really be an electric atmosphere at Summertown, and it will be that and more at Santa Fe. In fact, I think I'm probably just going on over to the gym when we get off.
You might want to go ahead and get a seat if you can. I'm just here to tell you that may be a tough ticket to obtain.
And obviously, we will be keeping an eye on Independence at Lebanon and Richland at the aforementioned McKenzie.
All the Wilkins.
All the Wilkinses.
All the Wilkinses are playing live.
All Wilkins all the time. Yeah. So as Mark Wilkins, his brother, tries to get both McKenzie teams to Murfreesboro. Can you imagine?
Nope, I cannot.
Jeez.
Anyway,
How about share a little bit, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
just a little. Well, that's going to do it for Reaction Monday. Hope you guys have had a good day. I know that we have. We will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Maybe from Murfreesboro, maybe not. We'll let you know.
Depends on how we feel when we wake up.
Exactly. Tune in to find out where we will be tomorrow.
Where in the world is Main Street Sports today?
That's right. Where in the world is Main Street Sports today? Y'all come back and see us. See you later.